All right, so are you ready to get back into it?
Definitely.
Because we are diving back into Love Next Door with episodes 5 and 6.
Ooh.
I mean, talk about a whirlwind, right?
Yeah.
Your recaps are amazing, as always.
Oh, thank you.
Seung-hyo is a mess.
Yeah.
Like, seriously a mess.
Yeah.
The food moments are incredible, and that cliffhanger, I know.
So good, though.
It is so good.
Okay, so you even had some theories, and I have to say I'm really curious.
Okay.
What stood out most to you in these episodes? Because
Well-
I have thoughts.
Well, we are really past those introductory episodes now, and things are, like, heating up.
Right.
Like, the show's doing such a good job of balancing kind of those classic K-drama tropes
Yeah.
that we love, but then also, like, these really nuanced explorations of love and loss and ambition. Like, we knew Seung-hyo was, like, totally into SeokRyu,
Yes.
but he is fighting it so hard.
Yeah.
Like, you even compared him to Mr. Darcy in your notes.
Yes.
So good.
Classic.
Is this whole, like, running away from your feelings thing, is that a common theme in K-dramas?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a popular trope.
Oh, okay.
But I think what makes Seung-hyo's avoidance a little more interesting here is that it's not just about the fear of ruining a friendship.
Right.
You picked up on those hints of, like, a complicated family past, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that adds a whole other layer to his hesitation.
Yeah, it's true.
It makes you wonder if he's just afraid of commitment in general,
Right.
not even just with Seok-ryu.
And just when we think he might be coming around,
Yeah.
we meet Tae-hee,
Yes.
the ex-girlfriend.
The ex-girl.
But here's the thing, I actually liked her.
Yes.
You mentioned this in your notes, too.
Yeah.
Usually the exes in dramas are a recipe for disaster.
Oh, I know, right.
Yeah.
But she is not your typical jealous ex.
No.
She's actually quite charming, and I think her presence, rather than stirring up a bunch of unnecessary drama, it actually kind of clarifies things for both Seok-ryu and the audience.
Right.
You know?
It's like she's holding up a mirror,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, oh, yeah, they're meant to be.
Exactly. and here's where I think it gets really interesting. You pointed this out in your notes, too.
Mm-hmm.
Tae-hee's character doesn't just impact the romance.
Okay.
She also plays a really crucial role in kind of nudging Seok-ryu towards her passion for cooking,
Oh, interesting.
which leads us to all those food scenes
Yes.
that you love so much.
Okay, the hot pot scene.
Oh, my gosh.
First of all, your notes were so detailed, I felt like I was there.
Oh, good.
And you even compared it to the food in chocolate.
Yeah,
What is it about food in K-dramas?
right.
Like, it just hits different.
It really does. I think there's a reason for that, and it's that food is more than just sustenance in
Yeah.
Korean culture. It's a way to express love. It's a way to share memories, and it's a way to connect with family history. And I think Love Next Door captures that beautifully.
Yes.
You know, think about that scene where Seok-ryu makes hot pot for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just about the recipe. It's the care that she puts into every step, the way she presents it.
It's true.
It's like she's pouring her heart into this dish.
Totally.
And I think that's something that you see a
Mhm.
lot in Korean culture and in K-drama.
And, like, it's not just the hot pot, right?
Wow.
It's like that field trip to Taehee's workshop, and they're surrounded by all those traditional ingredients. It's like a light bulb went off for Seok-ryu.
Exactly. It's where the show kind of subtly connects food to her heritage.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about learning to cook.
Right.
It's about, like, rediscovering a part of herself she might not have even realized was missing.
It makes you wonder what other passions we might unearth if we just took a chance.
Right.
But speaking of unearthing things, can we talk about the whole influencer scam with Seok-ryu's dad?
Oh, yeah.
Like, where did that come from?
I know, it was like a hard left turn.
It really was.
But, you know, it's such a good example of how K-dramas can weave together these seemingly random plots into, like, a cohesive whole.
Okay, so, but how does a ridiculous influencer scam fit into love and finding your passion?
Well, on the surface, it's played for laughs, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's
It
hilarious.
was very funny.
But remember how Seung-hyo, like, immediately jumps in to help,
Yes.
even enlist Dan-ho?
He did.
Like, that whole protective streak, I think, speaks volumes about his feelings for Seok-ryu and her family.
You're right. It's like the show gives us these bursts of pure K-drama chaos.
Yes.
And then sneaks in these subtle moments of character development.
Yeah, and connection.
Like that almost confession under the stars.
Yes.
He practically poured his heart out.
Oh, he did.
And don't forget the letter he wrote years ago that's in the time capsule.
Oh, yes.
You flagged that in your notes?
Yes, because I feel like the writer is setting us up for some major emotional payoff down the line.
Yeah.
Like, it has to come back.
It's like Chekhov's letter.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
But back to the almost confession.
Okay.
I was on the edge of my seat,
Yeah.
and then she throws a shoe at him.
I know.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
The worst.
So what do you think he's going to say when we see him next?
Oh, gosh. I mean, given his track record of avoiding his feelings at all costs,
Right.
I think a full-blown confession might be a little too much to hope for.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him kind of express his feelings in a roundabout way.
Okay.
Maybe through a grand gesture or, a moment of vulnerability.
A classic KDrama.
I know.
Longing stares, the wistful sighs.
Yes.
But, as much as I love the romantic tension, what really gets me about the show is Seok-ryu and her journey.
Oh, totally.
Like, she is figuring out who she is, what she loves. And it's so relatable. I mean, haven't we all had those times in our lives where you're just kind of going through the motions and then something happens?
Right.
And you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
It's like a whole new world opens up.
It's that spark of passion, and Love Next Door does such a good job of showing how those passions can connect us to something bigger than ourselves.
Yes.
For her, it's her heritage, her family history.
Right.
All embodied in the food that she's creating.
You mentioned before how K-dramas have these fast-paced plots, but then they also have those slower burn storylines.
Totally.
And I noticed that in these episodes too. It's like they keep you on your toes, but they also give you those moments to just really feel it.
Exactly. And I think, the influencer scam is a great example of that.
Right.
That was a whirlwind.
It really was.
It's over in 2 episodes.
And it's done.
But then you have Seung-hyo's internal struggle.
Right.
Which has been simmering since episode 1.
Yes.
And I think that's the beauty of the format, is it keeps you engaged on all these different levels.
It's true. It's like the fast-paced stuff is exciting, but then the slow burn really makes you care.
Yes.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the humor.
Yeah.
In your recaps, you pointed out some really funny moments.
Oh, yeah. This show is hilarious.
Seung-hyo's reaction to Seung-hyo pounding on him in the morning.
The best.
So good.
So funny.
Okay, so as we kind of wrap up our deep dive on these episodes, anything else that stood out to you that we should be paying attention to as we move forward?
I think keep an eye on that theme of rediscovering childhood dreams, because it's not just Seok-ryu. You see hints of it with Seung-hyo, too.
Right.
He's successful, but is he happy?
Right.
And I think the show is kind of subtly exploring this idea that it's never too late to chase those dreams.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
And it's one that I think resonates with a lot of people.
Totally.
Well, I'm so ready to jump back in and see what happens next. How about you?
Let's do it.
All right, so for everyone listening, make sure you check out the next 2 episodes and then come back for the next deep dive.